In case you want cancer, go back and listen to the end of every podcast.
Or the beginning.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. I like when Spencer picks out the blurbs. What are you talking about?
No, I was talking about your openers.
Oh, they're the worst.
Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Nothing makes me want to commit a crime more than a cyclist on a back road. Get a fucking bicycle path.
Wow.
I've been holding that in for so long.
You got behind somebody, didn't you?
I can't stand it when they bike and then they do this. They're like, go around. I was like, bitch,
they
there's a
fart
curve
or
up
when
here.
they-
How do you know someone's not coming around that curve?
Yeah.
Don't.
Well,
That's the fun part.
I like when when they have the cycling tournament downtown and it shuts all the roads down. Sean Ireland loves that. Shout out Sean Ireland. Who
It's his favorite time of year.
favorite time of year when they they won't let anybody out.
Lights?
Whatever it is. Casey, tell them who's here.
It's Frying Pan. How
Yeah.
can you
No, he
not know
said
it's Frying
Casey.
Pan?
Casey.
The other Casey.
Casey, tell them who's here.
Frying Pan.
Wait, which Casey?
Frying Pan.
Exactly.
I'm leaving. Had it. Happy New Year, everybody. Goodbye.
Podcast.
No, guys, really, this is the first Beacon House of the Roaring 20s. Also the new year, also the new decade. There's a lot of new shit
Hey,
happening.
let's not redo the Roaring 20s. But
Well, here's the thing: is new year, new decade, new all this new shit. You know what? 2020, Casey still doesn't give a shit.
There you have it, folks. But we figured before we get too far into the new decade and everything that we would start with doing a best of, kind of like we did last year with 2018. We're going to do a best of 2019 and maybe even a best of the decade if you guys want to throw something in. Yeah.
I want to start off with the worst thing to happen to us in 2019. The movie Us.
I could agree with that.
It's pretty bad. Well, we also
It came out in February of this year.
Oh, is that
I looked
February?
it up
Shit.
right before we
but
started.
we also saw scary stories to tell in the dark.
That was far better.
So before
Than
we do
Us?
the
Yeah.
before we do the
Oh.
best, let's take a moment to
Like
shit
top
on
3
some
or
of the
5 worst.
worst things that happened to us.
Antidepressants, don't do them.
No, movies and TV shows, we're not doing real shit.
So the worst
it's
of
okay.
what do you
Said not personal.
Frying Pan, what do you got for the worst of 2019?
Antidepressants.
Last Christmas is not that good, and
Okay.
that was kind of recent.
Okay, I gotcha.
I don't know.
Did you like Us?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, really?
I haven't. This is why I said that I'm not gonna have a lot of stake in this because I haven't seen a lot of this.
Have you seen Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
No.
Well, those are two things that you can now not
Watch.
worry about.
Yeah, I thought that's pretty bad.
They're both entertaining in their own right, but that's
I
about all
know
can
you
say
don't
for
agree,
them.
but I think that new Ryan Reynolds movie on Netflix
But
is
it's so
it's
just
terrible.
fun.
Underground.
It's just a fun ride.
I don't think it's
That's
fun.
all it is.
It's
I
a
think-
fun Ryan.
I don't think it's fun.
Yes, it is.
I think it's fun like getting a concussion. You know what I mean? Like if you go on a roller coaster and you get a concussion, nobody goes, but it's a fun roller coaster. You go, fuck, that was a terrible idea. That's
Unless
how
I
felt.
vomit, I don't care.
But also, I'd also like to
Did
point
600
out
gram make
that
you vomit?
Metacritic
No.
and Rotten Tomato are definitely right about this next movie that I think was the worst of 2019.
Okay.
At a 39% on Metacritic and Rotten Tomato, The Dirt was probably the worst thing to happen to
Oh,
me.
horse shit. Come
Came out
on.
March 18th, 2019.
You can't shit
It
on
was
his
the most
Christmas
successful
episode.
movie ever on Netflix.
It wasn't.
It was.
Well, it's because they made it for $5.
No, The Dirt was phenomenal. There's a cheap scene at the very beginning of The Dirt, kind of like a crazy intro scene, and everybody just fixates on it. And if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It has something to do with ejaculate. But fucking everybody goes, oh, there's that once, and then they just dial out the rest of the movie. But I think it is one of the absolute best movies about like a young band trying to get together and get off the ground and the shit that they go through, and just like, and it's based on a real life band that really, really did change music forever. It's pretty fucking badass. But anyway, everybody goes, oh, it's misogynistic, and there's that scene at the beginning. I hate it. And it's like, and really write it off as being trashy. I thought it was fucking amazing.
I'm just not that into music, so it wasn't for me.
See, and that's why I think Frying Pan, you are definitely
probably love it.
You're super into music, and I think you'll really appreciate like the whole. Like, I mean, you own Led Zeppelin on vinyl. You know what I mean?
Like,
wanna-
I watched.
You're geared up to really appreciate The Dirt.
I watched The Dirt and understood why people loved it. But for me, it wasn't my thing. It reminded me of the Metallica documentary that came out back in the
gross.
Some
90s.
kind of
Gross.
monster.
Yeah, it was
Gross.
just a bunch of dudes being really like,
Gross to each other.
Wait,
just being really like, fuck you, man.
See, I
No,
thought the
fuck
Metallica
you,
documentary
man.
was just a bunch of whining.
It was.
A bunch of super successful rich musicians whining about like being super successful and rich. The Dirt to me was just a real story of things I saw growing up. Like I was a kid watching them on MTV actually do all that crazy
And see,
stuff.
for me, I didn't. So that's I think why I didn't connect with it.
And I also think it's the most exciting time in rock and roll. Like that's when bands were legendary. They would destroy an entire hotel. They were driving motorcycles through hotels. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But what about Rainbow Kitten Surprise? I saw them in January here at the Tennessee Theater.
Because
They're
Are
of
we still on the worst list?
I didn't
No,
know.
we're on the
I didn't know
best.
they came
Sorry.
to town.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
Rainbow
just
Kitten
wanted to-
Surprise is good. I know about them now, but partially because of you guys and also because of some other people I know that are super into Rainbow Kitten Surprise. I'm okay with it.
It's indie,
I'm not over the moon about it, but it's not bad.
and that's why I don't think you're going to like The Dirt as much as everyone thinks you will. After I just said I think you'll like The Dirt. I don't know.
I don't know. I have some.
It definitely, The Dirt should not be on the worst list. It actually should be on the best. I just wanted to say it and see what Spencer.
It's easily my favorite movie of the year. I liked it way better than Star Wars, way better than anything else that came out this
have
year.
not seen
By a
Star Wars.
lot.
You like The Dirt more than episode 8 of The Mandalorian.
Oh,
Shit.
We're gonna let's. Okay,
Whoa.
I'm gonna say yes, just because it's my field. It's my field. It's what
And
I
you
do.
saw it 10
like,
times
dude,
in, like,
6
3 days.
fucking 12 feet from here is a guitar and a half stack.
You're allowed
Yeah.
your opinion, even if you're wrong. But
I mean,
you're allowed
oh
your
yeah, that's my line.
I mean,
Damn.
I'm into heavy metal more than I'm into sci-fi. So obviously, I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
appreciate
Okay.
that.
Heavy metal is sci-fi,
Yeah.
but for music.
Ooh.
No, it's not.
It is.
Shut the fuck up. Anyway,
You've heard Randy's bass
I
sounds.
shout out Randy. Let's get that delay going. Anyway, so any other worst of 2019 that you guys can think of?
I'm sure
If
something
they
that
were,
just
they
left
were
you.
not memorable for me.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of the thing. If it doesn't stick with you, it probably
Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah.
That was
I don't know.
2018.
That was 2018.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would say that I know everyone loves that
Cats.
show, Cats. Everyone
Sorry.
loves the show Russian Doll. I tried to give it a shot.
I liked it.
It wasn't for me.
I didn't love it though.
Didn't
Yeah.
see it.
Everyone like raved about
Yeah.
it being like the best show on Netflix. And I was like, nah.
The hype for Russian Doll,
Clearly
I
someone's-
felt for me was a little bit how the hype was for Breaking Bad. I didn't personally enjoy Breaking Bad as much as everybody else did.
I did watch Breaking Bad this year.
Oh, you did? Yeah, you finally went.
I will say, have you watched the El Camino movie?
Nope.
Not yet.
I just
Watch it.
Okay.
Because for me, the end of Breaking Bad left Jesse Pinkman's story wide open.
Right.
And with El Camino, it kind of put a cap on that. And I was really fucking happy with how they closed that chapter.
Dude,
and
when was
basically ended the
Love,
series.
Death, and Robots? Was that 2019?
That was
that
year.
was this year.
Oh, that was
That's
a
a
by
best.
far
big winner for
That's
me.
a best for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we're moving to the best.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead, since you mentioned it, Frying Pan. Well, he's going to look up something. Let's talk about that Sturgill Simpson thing. I've talked about it on the podcast already, so I'm not going to wear it out. But in my opinion, probably one of the best musical works of art this year was the Sound and Fury thing by Sturgill Simpson. I feel like you also feel sort of like that. Or
I do.
Where's your
but
art?
so I'm not a big Sturgill Simpson fan just because I don't know him like that.
Same,
well.
same.
So I don't, but I loved it. I enjoyed. Usually when I watch something, and I found this out sort of earlier this year, when I watch something for the first time, I watch it for mostly artistic style first, the cinematic style, and the plot first.
So you're talking about the visual. You're talking about the thing on Netflix,
Visuals,
the actual movie,
yeah.
right? Okay.
So I'm talking about the visuals first because I don't know. I just realized when I start watching a movie for the first time ever, that's when I start to really focus in. Is if it grabs my attention visually, then I can stick with it probably through the rest. And it did that right off the bat.
Well, see, I didn't even know about it, and I'm also not a big fan of his. Like, I don't know much of his other stuff. I've never really sat through an entire record. Or what. I just thought he was sort of like an alt country guy,
I think it also helped for me to watch Daft Punk's what they did with the little blue alien thing.
You told me about that, and I still haven't seen it.
It's pretty good. I think it was done
out.
like in the 90s.
Is it on Netflix?
No, it's but you can watch it on YouTube.
Okay, I'll look it up because you compared it to Sound and Fury, and I was into it. But like, man, there was I heard him talking about it on Rogan about that he got with all these Japanese animators and did this thing, and I was like, well, how does that fit with like edgy country? And it's definitely
I love when it does.
way beyond edgy country. It's definitely super like rock, like spacey rock.
I would like to point something out. Early on when we did this episode and we talked about it,
Yeah.
I think we talked about it a couple times. We've mentioned that it was one of the animators or writers or someone that had their hands in it was Hayao Miyazaki. That is not the case. He had nothing
Who was
to
the
do
guy?
with it. It was a guy named Junpei Mizusaki.
Oh, okay.
And so he's the one that got with Sturgill Simpson to do this. That was something that I've been wanting to mention, but haven't talked about Sound of Fury.
Correction.
Studio Ghibli
Mizusaki,
had-
not Miyazaki.
Yes. Studio
we're
Ghibli
ignorant.
had nothing to do with Sound and Fury. However, Sound and Fury is some of the best animation I've ever seen.
And very
It's
different.
wonderful.
I like how it changes, and they don't try to make it look the same. How it's deliberately different styles. Some of it was so realistically. It's best animation I've ever seen. I think pretty much. I'm sure. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And but I thought it was fucking amazing.
This year I got really into anime a lot. I've been watching a lot of like some like the old stuff, some of the stuff from the 90s, like Age of Evangelion. That one's really, really good. If you have a chance to see that.
Wait, are you saying that you've seen Neon Genesis
Yeah.
Evangelion?
All the way
And
through?
All
and
the
the
way
movie.
through?
Yeah.
And
I'm really-
end of Evangelion?
I'm really close to finishing it,
So the
finally.
the whole first season, because it only came out with one season, and then the
26
movie.
episodes. Yeah, back in the 90s. I didn't know you watched this. Me and Hunter have been on this.
It's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I grew up desperately wanting to consume
And-
it because of what it is, and it was just not available to me. So I had like 3 volumes of manga and a figure, and music videos on YouTube, and then they released it, and I was like, "Fuck, finally!"
honestly,
It's really
So-
good.
Honestly, Spencer, if you ever wanted
seen
to
it.
like, oh, you've seen
You've seen
Yes.
Evangelion?
Yeah, I seen it because it was recommended to me after I watched Sound and Fury.
Okay.
So it's tagged with
Did you
Sound
watch
and
the
Fury.
movie?
Did you watch the movie?
The
or did you
movie,
watch
like-
No, I watched a bunch of the episodes.
Okay.
A bunch or all of them?
So here's the thing.
Not all of them. I didn't have time.
You should finish it.
Yeah, you should finish it. But
It gets
before you
really
finish
fucking
it,
weird.
the thing people should know is the last 2 episodes of that show, the animator and the production company ran out of money, and so they put basically the last 2 episodes are very psychedelic and very like psychological,
Right.
And they use a lot of just storyboards instead of animation to show things.
It was always in my queue. It was suggested because I liked Love, Death, and Robots and Sound and Fury.
Yeah,
That
And
makes
so
sense.
it recommended, and I was like, oh, okay. I watched a bunch of stuff. It wasn't all just that, too. I watched a ton of anime just kind of to see if any of it was. And honestly, I didn't like any of it as much as Sound and
Attack
Fury.
on Titan's really good.
No.
Have you seen that at all?
I haven't seen
Did you
Attack
say
on
no?
Titan.
You just know me?
He did. He just knowed you.
I haven't gotten far into Attack on
Casey
Titan.
versus
It's so
Casey.
good. So here's the thing. I watched the first episode probably a year or 2 ago, and I was so creeped out by it and the whole premise of the story. I was like, I'm not watching this. This is weird, and I don't like it. But then I got more into the story, and I was like, this is really, really good.
I keep being told to try it by my niece and my wife,
think
and
you
because
should.
giant monsters and shit. And I finally sat down with Libby over the summer, and I was like, let's get through a few episodes. And I watched 3 back to back, loved it, and felt so colossally depressed that I was like, I need a break, and I haven't gone back to it.
You need to
It's
wait to
dark
get
as
to
shit.
wait to get to season 2. Season 2, it starts to really pick up, and you start to get a lot of feelings.
Anyways, back the last
Evangelion.
last 2 episodes of Evangelion are not what the production company persisted on, or insisted the end of,
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's where the end of Evangelion movie, 1.5 hour movie, comes in. That's the true ending to the series.
Got
It's
it.
an hour
And
a half
that
movie.
blew my mind.
That was really
The
good.
movie. I can't wait.
Just
I'm
the
like
very
5
end of
episodes
it.
away from getting to the movie.
I was like in another. I felt like I was.
You
in
can
another
honestly
world.
skip the last 2 episodes of the series and just
I'm
watch
not
the
gonna
movie.
though.
Now, best of 2019. Do you guys want to do like
Not Evangelion.
a list?
Let's hold
20
off.
years
Let's
old.
hold off on Mandalorian because that's a
Yeah.
big one for me. Let's let
Well,
because
yeah.
it came in late too. What about
The Joker.
Well, I already have. I have literally my top 3 in my head right now.
of
That's-
TV shows
what are
or
your top
movies?
3?
Movies.
I
Okay,
have my
go
top
for
3
it.
movies in
I
my
haven't
head.
thought about it. Go.
Midsummer,
Oh yeah.
Parasite,
Weird.
and Ad Astra.
Weird.
Okay, so I haven't seen any of that.
I would throw Ad Astra right up
the
there.
only one of those I would agree with would be Parasite for sure. Now I was entertained by the other ones, but they were just a little too. I don't know. It just
Well,
they didn't
I mean,
stick with me.
You know me.
Ad Astra
Sure.
for sure. Agreed. 100%.
Ad Astra.
I liked
was
it a lot,
beautiful.
but it was slow for me. It bored me.
Sure.
Kind of like Midsummer and all like all those Ari Aster. What's his name?
Ari
Ari
Aster.
Aster.
Ari Aster, who's almost Ad Astra.
For me, with Ad Astra and Midsummer, the story is definitely an important part of why I love them.
Right.
But the most important is the cinematography and like the
Yep.
beauty of the shots and the beauty of the effects and
Right.
just like when there is dialogue and there is like this in-depth talking, it's so well written and thought out and there's no fat to it.
Right.
So for me, that's also why I love Parasite. Is Parasite didn't have any fat to it. Like
Parasite
you
is fucking incredible.
you needed all of that movie to get the experience.
And I kind of feel like there's probably other great movies that I just never got around to seeing.
Same.
What were some of the other movies that we saw when you and I went to see Parasite and we saw like the
the Jojo Rabbit,
Jojo Rabbit,
The Lighthouse.
So
Lighthouse.
bad.
I wanted to see
You guys
those
haven't seen
so
Lighthouse
bad.
yet?
No.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
I
gotta
haven't
throw
seen
that
any
in
of
top
these.
3. I totally forgot that came out.
Yeah. So, dude, my top 3 definitely would be Dirt at number 1 for sure. because it's just a movie about heavy metal band, and and also everybody knows why I love it, but I don't think everybody really understands why I love it completely unless you've seen the documentary called The Rainbow, which is currently on. You can get it on Amazon Prime, but it talks about that place in LA that just all these, actors, everybody famous hung out at this place called The Rainbow, and it's gone through all these transitions, but it's actually the bar scene in the dirt, and they really shot it there. But the owner was on a Dean Del Rey podcast talking about, he's like the third generation owner of the place, and there's even a story about Charles Manson tried to come in there at one point, and the grandfather that owned the place went downstairs and threw him out. And he was like, "You can't throw me out. Don't you know who I am?" He's like, "I don't give a fuck who you are. Get the fuck out of here. I'm about to beat the shit out of you."
It's so good.
Yeah. But I would say probably my top three movies would be probably in order of how much I loved them: The Dirt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and probably Parasite.
I haven't seen any of them.
I was gonna do Lighthouse. My memory is shit today.
Endgame came out this year, right?
Yeah, but
Endgame was
that's a
awesome,
give me.
but top three would have to be Godzilla, King
I
of
liked
the Monsters.
Infinity War better, but I've said that a million times.
Ad Astra and Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So one time you do your three again.
Oh, Ad Astra, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Oh, that was this year, and I really liked that.
I kept
one, too.
forgetting that was this year.
I liked it as
That's
much as I
number
liked
4
Rise
for
of
me, for
Skywalker.
sure.
Like it to me was up there with Rise of Skywalker.
I think it's
both of
comparable
them-
as a film.
Literally,
But obviously I'm going to...
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Godzilla is my 4 and 5.
Yeah, sure.
I get it. Frying Pan, where you at?
Yeah, Lighthouse is great, though.
Where you at? On
Don't
movie?
come to me because I have not seen
Not
more
gone to a
than
movie
half
this
of
year?
these. I've been to a couple. We saw Knives Out. I saw Knives Out on Sunday.
how
That
was
was
that?
really, really, really good.
I wanted to see it, but I
It was
never got
very
around.
good.
That was good. Okay.
Yes, I
Knives Out
enjoyed
is
that.
so good.
I liked Endgame a lot. I just haven't really had a chance to go out and see any movies this year
Getcha.
at all. I saw The Joker, obviously.
Dude, that was this year.
That was this
Oh
year.
shit, that's a big one.
I got my record. Frying Pan
Shout
got
out
me the
Frying Pan.
Yeah, Frying
really-
Pan got us presents.
You didn't have
dude.
to tell.
She took care of us. She really took care of us. So how about this? Before
Really
we
is
get
the
into-
number one fan.
She really is, and based on that,
Oh, no.
let's start. Well, no. Since we're talking about best of 2019,
Frying Pan's the best guest of 2019. Eat it, everyone else.
we can't.
That's so rude.
can't.
I love all of you equally. I'm so sorry, you guys.
Actually, it's only because she's here. If someone else
He
was
says that
there,
to everybody. Yeah.
You're our
Fucking.
favorite guest. We
If
can't
Sean
wait for you to
Ireland
come
was
back.
I am.
Hey, it's our favorite guest.
I am working on a Beacon House drinking game. So if y'all want
Oh,
to re-listen
shit.
to the podcast, we might have
Well,
to.
we,
come back to that, but
guys,
it's
we
still
can
work
do
in
it,
progress.
but I have to do Truly. But we could do it. We found the beer where I
also,
can do it.
real
not
quick,
just you guys, the listeners.
Well,
you're
right. But
talking about Beacon House. Old Mr. Bishop here finally got Final Cut Pro.
We saw that online. Have you got to experiment with it? Have you made any cuts?
I've been toying with it a little bit. There's so much.
Yes.
It's going to take me I'm going to take January and part of February just to
learn it.
but I'm gonna film little tiny things.
Yeah.
And then just fucking toy with the shit out,
Yeah.
with the hell out of it.
He's been doing,
the more
little
time-
paper
Toy
cuts.
with the hell.
Toy with the shit of the hell out of it.
I just had a stroke.
Toy with the help.
Your Frying Pan's face was right. You look like
Toy the hell
I'm
of the shit out
gonna
of it.
diddle.
You look like you
Final
smelled
Cut
onions.
Pro. I'm gonna diddle the fuck out of it.
I think that made her.
Well, there's that.
TV shows of 2019. TV show.
No, before we do that, let's do music. We always talk about fucking movies and shit. Let's go music. Let's
Kai
talk-
Straw. If y'all have a chance, look up Kai Straw. He's one of my favorite underground rap artists right now, based out of San Francisco. And
You showed that to me, and it was really good.
he and I chat frequently.
How do you
Not
spell
frequently.
it? How do you spell it? Tell everybody how to get-
Kai Straw. The things that people don't want to kill
S-T-R-A-W.
turtles with. Yeah.
STRAUUW.
Okay.
Shut up. It's straws.
Okay.
That's how you would spell straw.
Yeah, okay.
Kai Straw, you can listen to him on Spotify. I'm a huge fan of his. He and I are supposed to get married. And I'm going to move to San Francisco.
About that.
Hey, if you do, can you get me tickets to the Golden
I
State
love you,
Warriors
Kai.
games?
So here's the thing. My
You
goal
want
when I
tickets to
move
his
to
show.
California, I want to go to Corky Beach Day first. That's my first goal in Huntington Beach.
Okay. Yeah, so you really got this all worked out.
Kai, I'm just waiting.
You have any other music? We already talked about Sound and Fury. Any other stuff this year that was recent that you were into?
Come back to me because I'm going to have to go through my
Hunter,
Spotify
go.
playlist.
What do you listen to this? New Slipknot was big for you.
I forgot that was this year. I can't
Yeah.
remember anything that happened
New
this
Tool
year.
was this year.
New Tool was garbage. New
haven't listened
Slipknot
to it. I hate to
was
say I haven't
New
listened.
Slipknot was incredible.
Was it?
Shout
well,
out
I heard a lot of it. Yeah. No.
like heavy on a level that is kind of mind-boggling,
Yeah.
but really experimental and weird too.
Gotcha.
It was good. Good. I don't know. I didn't listen to much of the Tool. I was just being a dick there, but the one Tool song I heard was okay.
Right.
But I'm not a Tool fan, so I don't think I should be an authority on that. Like I am, but I don't care on that level. So I'd be interested
that's where I'm
to
at.
hear
That's where I'm
what
at.
the people that care thought of it.
Casey, what about you? What you listened to this year? Anything good?
You go first because, as you guys know, I'm very low on the music.
He listens to
totem pole.
Willie Nelson because there's no drums. Live, sorry,
not
live
loud.
Yeah,
Willie
you
Nelson.
go
That's-
first. I'll go after you, and then we'll
Dude,
go back
I
to
don't.
Frying Pan.
I never know when stuff came out. Like I discover stuff and I'll listen to it on Spotify.
Yeah.
But I spent an insane amount of time on Spotify this year. Like
Oh, me
every
too.
hours and hours every
Yeah.
day on Spotify. So there's a lot of stuff, but a lot of it wasn't from 2019 per se. I would probably give a huge shout out to the Thank You Scientist guys that put out the album Terraformer. And they, I work with them making gear for them and stuff like that. But man, it really was one of the best albums I've ever heard. And it's mind-boggling. And they just recently did a cover of the old Eddie Murphy song "Party All the Time," and they shot the video where they were dressed up like it was the '80s. And it was scene for scene a recreation of the Eddie Murphy video, and it was fucking hilarious.
That's great.
And you got to look at it on YouTube. It'll change your life. It's incredible. So big shout out to Thank You Scientist always. They're musically beyond what human capability should be, and still fun. They're not one of these bands that shows off to where you can't listen to them. So I would probably go with that. And I feel terrible because I know a bunch of other cool shit came out this year, and I just don't remember it.
Yeah, we're not doing good for that. His memory is kaput today.
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
I think memory in general is just put.
Well, I mentioned something being funny, and I mentioned Eddie Murphy. What about comedy? There's a ton of good comedy.
Well,
this
hold
year.
Dave
on.
Chappelle.
You had
Dave Chappelle stand-up came out.
takes the cake with that one.
That was the big one.
Yeah.
What was your music
big
pick,
one.
though? You had one more music pick, you said.
Another one that's really good. I just got remember that I kind of was a little bit into rap. Abhi the Nomad is also a really good one. That's ABHI the Nomad. He's very good. Sort of kind of underground in a way. And then I thought I had somebody else. Oh, somebody else I really got into. My sister. I heard "Bad Guy" by Billie Eilish.
Oh, Billie Eilish.
And I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to give William Eyelash a chance here.
Ocean
I
Eyes
did.
is a great song.
She's phenomenal.
She's phenomenal.
She's very
So
good.
what was your pick, Casey?
She's phenomenal. And we should give a big shout out. That's one of the last huge stars to come out that I can really get behind, because it's really just her doing whatever she wants. It doesn't seem super corporate influence, and she's insanely talented. She really, really is. And you got to look a little deeper. If you're one of these like real musically critical guys like me, and a lot of people that I know, they see her like on a talk show, and she's a kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you can easily be off put by her if you don't look beneath the surface and really listen to her like inflect and sing and reflect and think about things.
Yeah.
And just, if you can get her youth out of the way, she's going to be gigantic.
Not just that, but like sometimes you'll hear. So Spotify does like the daily,
Yeah.
or like the weekly picks or whatever for you. If there's a band that you're kind of interested in, but you don't really like the song, check out their page, listen to a couple other songs. Because that's how I found a lot of the artists that I really like now, is just by giving the other songs a chance and not just the ones that they pick.
I think that's huge. Expand your attention span if you want to ever be.
My attention span is so short when it comes to a song. However, I'm not one of those people that will play a song in the middle of the song, go to another song because I really want to listen to the other song. I hate when people do that.
Right.
I want to hear the whole song out.
Yeah. I will say, me and Frying Pan did, what was it? The first time we hung out, you put Spotify on your TV, and we just passed your phone back and forth, adding a song.
Yeah.
And it was just like, so for like 3.5 hours, we just listened to random shit.
Yeah.
Which is how I
sounds
became
fun.
to love Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
Right.
So
And that's just like when people used to get together and listen to records.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
We can do that now.
Why the fuck don't
Record
people
party.
do that shit anymore?
It's so fun. I love having people over and just be like, here, you add 2 songs, I'll add 2, then you add 2 more. And it's just like, you get to hear what they like.
You're my hero.
And then you get
You're
to
my
listen.
fucking hero for having that as a centerpiece for an
It's
evening.
so
Yep.
nice.
Yep.
It's so nice.
And then I showed her Miyazaki movies. I was like, watch this one. And you're like,
Yeah.
I've already seen that one. I'm like, fuck. So for me, music would be, my music is definitely not just 2019, but it's stuff I've discovered in 2019, because I don't listen to much new music.
Same.
But my top 3 picks for sure would be Rainbow Kitten Surprise, would be Reason to Find.
Oh, Reason to Find.
Yeah,
Was that
eat
this
shit,
year or
both
last
of you
year?
guys. You guys
year
had
was
them on.
that?
You guys went to go see him this year, like in
Was it
February
this
or
year?
March.
I think it was this year.
early. That's
Okay,
right.
it was early in the year.
Sorry, buddies.
Do you know they're about to go back on tour? Everybody
Yep. Can't wait.
Everybody go check out Reason to Find. They just put
And
up a bunch of
also,
new tour
We're the
dates.
worst.
My number 3 is Demons by Burn the City.
Oh, this is disgusting.
Damn it.
That's where you're supposed to burp. You're supposed
Yeah.
to.
I can't just rip one out.
Oh my God. I forgot. There's one other thing that musically, you're right, Slipknot was the big one for me, but every dick and fart joke song that Spencer and I have done on the podcast this year.
Those are big fan. I'm big favorites of those too.
Yeah. In case you want cancer, go back and listen to the end of every podcast.
Or the beginning.
Oh, shit. Oh man, I like when Spencer picks out the blurbs. What are you talking about?
No, I was talking about your openers.
Oh, they're the worst.
I'm just kidding. I actually love your openers.
No, that's fine.
And you said in 20...
I'm gonna quit doing it now.
I know you said one year you were going to quit doing them. You said this is going to be good. I quit doing openers. And I was like, bitch, why?
No.
Well, you didn't
Now-
actually hear
now-
me say
I
that. I
do
was in
now.
the car.
I
when I
did.
said that.
This argument just gave us our blurb for the
Yeah,
episode.
I am now.
There could be like
So
9
good.
blurbs.
God.
The blurb's just going to be go to this part of the podcast and listen for 3 minutes. You know,
So stand-up comedy for me, specials would be Aziz Ansari,
Yeah.
his new stand-up where he calls out the audience in their
Yeah, okay.
believing of headlines without reading the articles, which is great. Sticks and Stones, Dave Chappelle, and Paper Tiger by Bill Burr.
yeah.
I have a question about the Ansari one. Libby and I tried to watch it.
Aziz Ansari.
Yeah.
He's very quiet.
That was the
You
thing.
have to turn it up.
Okay. We turned it up really loud, and it was
Yeah.
still, we had neighbors at the time. Now we don't, so we can probably go
Watch
back and
it.
try
He
it again.
definitely he just talks. He doesn't shout or do his
Yeah.
normal stuff.
It looked like it was good, but 10 minutes of not being able to hear
All
anything.
3 of these stand-ups were, for me, crucial in trying to correct the over political correctness of the climate nowadays. All of them are
Stop
like,
being so sensitive.
An
all of
indictment of cancel culture.
all of them are being like, look, you don't have to love the right or love the left, but man, you've got to get out of the headspace
Yeah,
that
calm
one
down.
is the natural evil of the other. Like you can be in the middle and talk and converse and find some common ground, because where we're going right now is not a good place.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about all 3 of those.
Was that a preach, or do you have something to say? Frying Pan, for those of you watching at home on YouTube, threw her hand up.
Yeah,
in
she
the-
raised the roof for sure.
With one hand. Sorry, I can't.
with one hand.
Like,
So I'm going to use these 3. These will be my top 3 comedies. Dave Chappelle, number 1, hands down. Sticks and Stones, legend. I put it up there with the all-time great comedies, like Eddie Murphy's Raw. I mean, it's incredible. So Dave Chappelle, definitely number 1. I'm going to say number 2. Actually, Elijah Schlesinger put one out very recently, and it's called Unveiled, and it's her after
are you
she
saying
got married.
Elijah or Eliza?
Eliza Schlesinger.
Okay, because somebody told me about her, and I watched her stand up recently.
Did you watch
I
Unveiled?
really liked it. I don't
It's the
remember.
one about after she got married and trying to plan a wedding
Probably.
and stuff.
I don't remember.
Unbelievable.
But whatever she did, I liked it because she was funny.
dude, we were out of breath. We were
She did her job.
dude. It's and also I probably for the third one either I'm going to say it's a tie. It's a 2-way tie between Bill Burr and Whitney Cummings. Whitney Cummings did one where she had that sex robot and it was fucking hilarious.
Did she take that on Joe Rogan?
Yeah, she took it on a bunch of shows. So those 2. But I will say this. One of my big favorite comedy specials is not one that you've seen yet. You're going to get to see it this year on Netflix, but I saw it at the Tennessee Theater, and it was Chris D'Elia, and it's going to be hilarious.
Is that how you pronounce his name?
D'Elia?
I'm ignorant AF.
Your words, not mine.
Sorry.
So that's so yeah. Shout
That's
out,
a good blurb,
shout out
too.
to those. But the Chappelle thing was amazing.
Ignorant AF.
Chris Rock came out with one this year too, didn't he? Tambourine,
Chris Rock.
2018. Okay, I got you.
still a thing?
It's hard to tell when shit came out. Everything streams now,
Whoa.
so everything's like at
Right.
your disposal. I feel like we're losing a time reference.
Chris Rock was a co-star with Anthony Hopkins once. He'll always be a thing.
I'm just going to stop I'm going to stop.
happening?
I'm going to stop this
You
year,
don't remember
this
that?
decade.
It was like a spy comedy or some
Shut
shit.
the fuck
from like
up over there.
2002.
all right.
Well, cool, Hunter.
What the hell is happening right
So-
now? Batman?
TV shows, anybody?
Mandalorian,
I'm rewatching New Girl, so I might not be the best
dude.
person to ask.
New Girl lives forever. New
That's
Girl lives
cheating.
forever.
Here's the
can't
thing.
bring that up with
I
Spencer.
love The Mandalorian. I love The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It's a
But-
great show. It is not in my top 3.
I'm going to have to probably agree with that.
It's in my top 1.
I watched, what's the HBO? Westworld.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
And then I also watched
Is Westworld season 2?
something
Was it
Little Lies, Big Little Lies with Reese Witherspoon. That's
Yeah.
actually very good
it
too.
Pretty Little Lies?
It's Big Little
No,
Lies.
it's Big Little Lies.
Yeah.
Fuck Pretty Little
That was
Lies.
a big one. That was a big one. Veronica Mars this year.
Yes,
thought
top
that-
3, top number 1. Even though
Don't say anything. We're still watching it.
Man, I gotta say, I actually like The Mandalorian better than the
Westworld,
No.
Westworld season
I
2
really
came out
like it.
2018. Next.
if
Years, you know?
if I rewatch Veronica Mars, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I'm gonna watch season 4 again because for obvious reasons, but also because I just liked the first 3 seasons much
The
better.
first 2 seasons of Veronica Mars are untouchable.
They're phenomenal.
They're untouchable.
Yeah.
Like I would put them over any show that I've ever seen. Probably it was that.
But
good
I
to
think
me.
I'm way too emotionally
invested
involved.
in. I am too.
Invested
and I'm
in-
also not sure how well it's going to age. It's pretty.
I think
pop
it'll
culture.
age pretty well.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Veronica Mars?
With how retro everybody's being these days, and
Yeah.
how yeah.
Yeah.
No, Veronica Mars aged like dog shit. It's really, really good.
Well,
but it,
Hunter has a strong opinion there. He just
Well, Hunter
he
also
just-
has a strong opinion about Dunkirk, but he won't stick with it.
I absolutely
Oh,
will.
you non-committal turd over there! You wishy-washy fence fucking rider! You cock smoker!
Don't you fucking come after Kristen Bell? I will.
I wasn't. I just said it was
Throw you
great.
in
It
the
just
dirt.
didn't
Kristen
age
Bell
well.
is greater
It
than
shows
Godzilla.
Its age.
Well, no, the same thing. One of my favorite movies of all time, and especially as vampires became popular again, and all the new
You're talking
vampire.
about The Lost Boys.
Well, all the new vampire movies suck so fucking bad. They're terrible.
Is that a pun?
No, well,
This is no.
You punny little bitch.
but I always
Puny.
go. The last great vampire movie was probably The Lost Boys, and then a lot of people I know went and watched it for the first time. They're like, "This is stupid."
Cry, little
And
sister.
it didn't age well. Yeah, I know he does this.
I know. I've listened
All right.
to every
Frying
episode.
pan pointed
Frying
at
Pan's
Hunter.
a fan. I'm
So-
safe in this space.
So
This is a safe space, guys.
my top 3 TV shows. The Witcher,
Yeah.
Took you long.
absolutely wonderful. Mindhunter season 2,
Oh, was that this year?
also killer.
110%.
Also killer. And my shit, I just had it. Unfortunately, my number 3 is kind of a tie.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, because I want to be able to choose between the two, but I can't. For me, my number 3 tie is Love, Death, and Robots, and
sure.
Kingdom.
yes.
Kingdom. Oh, I still haven't seen Kingdom
is
yet.
that period piece. It's set in like Dynasty Korea,
Oh, okay.
and
Zombies?
it's zombies.
Weird.
Zombies.
I've only seen one of the shows Casey talked about, which is Love, Death, and Robots. I haven't seen.
Dude, Kingdom looks amazing.
Have you ever watched Mindhunter?
I watched the first
I
season.
haven't seen it.
Season
The
2 is
second
so
season
good.
is such a slayer.
I plan on watching it. I like it.
That dude's
You'll
wife
also-
is an unsupportive bitch.
Yes. Also, as much as you absolutely love Game of Thrones and talk about it, I think I mean, I might be overhyping it. I think The Witcher will knock your dick off.
Yeah, you totally did. And I do plan on seeing it. Too.
The sword fights are so good.
I talked to some other people who had
Episode
seen
1.
it, and they were saying the same thing. Said it's fantastic. I just have limited time to watch
Fantastic
anything.
or
and
fantastical?
I've been devoting all my time to catching up on Mandalorian.
I do have one favorite of 2019,
Let's hear it.
but it's not a TV show, movie, music, or whatever else we've been doing.
This is exciting. It's not media.
It's the podcast.
It's this podcast.
yeah.
That's disgusting.
Blushing. I'm blushing. I feel like guys. I feel like
So one of the things I have to add to the Beacon House drinking game is every time Spencer says, I'm going to edit this out and doesn't edit it out, y'all take a shot.
no.
That's how good he is as
Every-
no. I love those. When I come up on when everybody goes, please edit that out. And like when I hear, especially when somebody else goes, oh, I just said something, please edit it out. I go, I'm leaving that in.
I think you say it more
And
than anybody.
2 days later, I'm sitting in my room going, yeah, I'm not cutting that. But I'm glad somebody else noticed that. Fucking. So
I
you
notice
say
everything.
You say the Beacon House podcast is one of your favorites.
No, this was definitely my favorite because Spotify, when it did my recap or whatever, said that I had listened to something like 4,500 minutes worth of podcast. and it was this podcast.
which basically makes you the Beacon House historian. That you have
Scrivener.
probably.
But I didn't take
Yeah.
notes, so I
It's okay. It's
feel-
okay. What would if you had to just let's put you on the spot real quick? You don't have to forensically look this shit up. But if you had to go back and say, what was your favorite of 2019 on Beacon House? What did we do? I feel like for a lot of people, it was the Ouija board episode.
That was
Which
big.
I'm
one for
still
everybody.
kind of like, oh, should we have
I
done
don't
that?
know,
I don't fucking
because
know.
I'm kind of torn between the first episode that I ever listened to, which was Dirty Laundry,
so good.
for
Yes.
sentimental
That was Shipley, right?
reasons.
And
Yes.
then there's the episode you were
shout
on.
out Shipley.
You were our guest.
I know. I listened to that though for like
Bill-
self criticism reasons.
But I thought it was great. I thought you did great.
Everybody
Two
said it was
snails
great,
wrestling.
but I don't know. I don't know.
Let's all pick our favorite episode of this year.
Which, by the way, I want to point out, when I was down in South Carolina visiting my family, a lot of my family members were like, hey, I listen to the podcast, I really like it. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
One of them being my cousin who's like, I want to say he's 18 or 19. However, his little brother, who I believe is turning 10 soon, was like, what's your YouTube channel? We'll listen to your podcast. I was like, nope.
Yep.
He
Nope.
goes, wait, what? And I was like, go ask your mom. I was like, go
Get
ask your
permission
parents.
first, kid.
Permission. He was like, no, literally, what? I was like, no. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm just giving that out freely to a 10-year-old. No. Sorry, kid. You can find it on your own and listen to it on your own time, but I am not going to be.
No.
I'm not going to have your parents call me and be like, why would you tell him to listen to that?
I like your mailbag episodes a lot.
We haven't done that in a while.
I know we're due. Well, the next one
I'm
would
coming
be
up with
episode 100. So
What does he do
She's a
today?
historian.
my favorite podcast from 2019 that we did, I've got tie between two. The first one is The Great Equalizer. We talked about pooing yourself.
Was that
this year?
2019?
That was
Oh my
2019.
God. That was Grant's first time.
That was
on, right?
Grant. And then my tie for it is The Weirdest Cookout.
Oh, I forgot that was
Weirdest
this
Cookout
year.
was
That
good.
was a great one.
Was Jason Turner this year? The first censorship?
Jason Turner was here this year. Yes.
The first time we had to censor anything on this podcast has to be my favorite moment of 2019.
Oh, that was great.
Well, that's because you know what got censored. Do you want to reveal it now?
I wouldn't do it.
you wanna
Don't
reveal it now?
reveal that. Don't reveal that.
No, because
We don't
when I was
edit
at the
shit.
wedding yesterday, people asked me, they go, so what?
you
What?
serious?
Yes. I was like, nope, not giving that information out. And they're like, no, but like, was it something bad? I was like, not saying shit.
Not going there.
Not saying goddamn
God.
thing.
So, okay. So any more stuff we need to cover from 20? It doesn't sound like 2019 was that
Here,
exciting for.
How about this, Spence? I'll unveil what that sensor was if you unveil what your sensor was.
What was my censor?
Oh, don't do it. Don't. He's baiting the shit out of you.
What was my censor?
You can't say what yours was.
You can't say what yours was.
Well, but
It'll
what- I don't
burn
even-
this podcast to the ground.
What are you talking about? I don't
We
even.
were talking about movies discussion. I was like, oh, we haven't really done a movie discussion in a while. And you were like, yeah.
And you said, "Shut up."
No, you said, yeah, no, I like that. And I was like, oh, cool, Spencer approves. And you said, oh, shut up, you.
Oh,
you
and I
called-
did like a slur, culturally
Edit, like, out
insensitive.
the last 10 minutes of this episode.
Okay.
What is happening right now?
I don't know. I think I said something to Casey like, shut up.
Oh my god.
Oh, sorry. Was that it?
That was the one.
Okay, now talk about your ex that was. Hey, it really is. Here we go. It really is the roaring 20s now, you motherfuckers.
What is happening?
No, hold on a second.
Spencer's
Could
gonna
you-
come kick
can
your
you-
ass in a flapper
Can you do me a
dress next
favor?
year.
Sure. What?
Can you do me a favor?
You want me to call her?
No.
Where are we going in here?
Leave this in and blurp it all out and make people question it even more.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, totally bleep
I
it
don't
out.
know that I'm going to have that much time to, but
No.
I like the thing you're doing with your hands
Dude,
right now.
You should totally
Because
bleep
if
out
that's
all
the
this.
case
It's
and you
even
can't-
better.
you know when I'm editing this to put a blurb in, you don't just push a button and go, okay, beep. You have to go find something that sounds like a blurb, drag it out, put it in, make an artifact
Save
out of it,
it.
and then cut the
Save
podcast
it.
up like this, and then move
Save
it
it.
over the words.
I have never seen somebody so
Oh, God.
visual with their hands and
dexterally
their
animated.
life.
Shit. That has to be the funniest thing
You
that's
should
happened
see
on
me
this
play with my
podcast.
figure.
In a long
You should see
time.
me play
No.
with my action figures. Sometimes I make them talk.
In the entirety of
Ew.
doing this podcast. In the entirety of doing this podcast, that right there was the funniest fucking thing to ever happen.
What? For the
back
actual,
and forth.
All the shit you just did.
all the stuff I just said.
I want you, I really like, even if you have to send it to me, I want to censor it out. Just a fucking 45-second beep and just us losing it afterwards.
Because that's definitely what everybody wants to listen to on their way to work.
Oh, fuck them. They'll be fine.
That's okay. So anyway, moving on from
Happy
that.
New Year.
Yeah. So yeah, Happy New Year to everybody.
Hey, what are your guys' New Year's plans?
What are you talking about?
You know what our New
I'm
Year's
working.
plans are?
When this comes out, it'll be after. This will be on the 2nd. So New
Yeah,
Year's will
yeah.
already be.
Yeah, but-
I hope everybody
I
came.
worked.
I hope everybody came to see me play a couple songs at Central Depot
With
on
Brandon
New Year's Eve
Hudson?
with Brandon Hudson.
That's right.
And maybe
Are you playing with him?
Oh yeah.
No way. What
Yeah.
time?
I don't know.
At Central Depot for New Year's.
After your bedtime.
I'm going there.
Yeah, so I hope anybody that did come out and hung out on New Year's Eve, I hope I got to see you. Hopefully, we got to wish you a happy New Year and the whole 9 yards. I
Come
was
see
at
me. You
Frying
come
Pan.
talk to me.
We were at Central Depot that night with our legendary friend Brandon Hudson and playing music. So, with dedication to our hero Butch Walker. Anyway, so yeah, how are we going to wrap this up? I don't know what the fuck, where the fuck this is
We're
going
going to wrap it up with a nice little bow and say we'll see you next year.
Merry Christmas.
It's already next year.
We're going
What?
to wrap this up with a nice little bow and
Wait.
say we'll see you
This is coming out on
Next
January
month.
2nd.
next time, next episode.
Math is hard.
Math. Is there any other best of 2019? What about best of the decade? What's the best thing that happened in the
Who was
10?
your favorite co-host?
What?
Uh-oh.
Who's that? My favorite co-host?
That means guest. Don't do it. Don't
Yeah,
do
we
it.
would never pick. We would never
Obviously,
pick.
Frying Pan.
I
Don't
would.
do it.
You want me to pick? I'll pick Sean Ireland.
Aw.
He's so fucking good.
He's so good.
I don't know. I like him for different. I like different people for different reasons. I actually liked a lot of stuff Leslie
like-
had to say on the Valentine episode.
That was
Yeah, yeah.
2018.
No, that was 2019 Valentine's Day. That's in February. You dick face.
Are you sure that wasn't Valentine's Day last year?
No, see the way Valentine's Day works.
We hadn't
is,
started.
Have we not started Valentine's Day last year?
Fuck is
We
Valentine's
started
Day?
after the Super Bowl.
Right.
It's a commercial holiday to sell you flowers and chocolates at an overrated price to show your love to somebody else. And
What's
I fucking
love?
hate it.
Oh.
Hey, worst of 2019. Hunter got married.
That was last year.
Nah, worst of the decade.
He stayed married. Yeah, I got nothing.
Best
of the decade?
Best of the decade. Hunter's deviled egg conundrum.
That was pretty
Or
good.
do we go to Smars? Smars.
You know what? I will say, and I don't want to take like I don't even know how I'm going to edit this. I'm not going to be able to go out for like 3 days. This is going to take 17 hours to edit.
It's going to be worth the bleep.
so much bullshit. I would say my best of the decade is definitely having this podcast
Oh yeah.
and
Hell yeah.
and starting our band and doing the stuff that we do here and meeting you and all
My
the things
best of the
that have-
decade was moving here for sure.
for real. Mm-hmm. Fucking A.
I've had a real fun decade.
Do you like it so far? I mean, since
I love
since,
Knoxville. This is the best decision I've ever made.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
But-
glad to hear that. It's
Yeah.
That's
wonderful to hear
insane
that.
to me. I'm so happy you feel that way though.
Yeah. Well, I had nothing else keeping me at home, so
Right on. Well, we're glad to be part of that. And in all seriousness and all the joking and everything aside, just to even be a tiny part of that for you is massive to us. So that's fucking huge. Thank
you guys
for-
let me be on your podcast.
you were immediately interested and interesting.
Best of the decade. Becoming friends with Frying Pan.
Stop.
See, I thought we were doing media only. Best of the decade.
voice.
I met my wife and got married easily.
You met her in this decade. You
Yeah.
didn't know before. So you met and got married in the one
Stop
decade.
it. Don't look at me like that.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
I love you.
Well, there's that.
They're both great, but
Only one of them
One's
failed
better
at
than
being
the other.
Superman. Oh
oh, you want to talk shit about Batman vs Superman?
no!
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. I hated it.
It was terrible.
It was awful.
Okay, let's do that.
Awful.
Let's do that before we end because we got about 5 more minutes here.
What?
God awful.
Best movie of the decade.
Decade?
Pick
Ooh.
one. You got to go one fucking movie. Best movie of the decade.
Interstellar.
I still haven't seen it.
10
yes,
Cloverfield
you
Lane.
have.
Yes, you have.
Interstellar. did
Yes,
I-
you have.
Oh, it had that weird ending. I didn't care for it.
You said you liked it before.
I liked it, but the ending was stupid. I
It's
hated
not
it.
stupid.
The
First
ending
of
was
all,
Love
all
is
right,
time travel.
hold on. Best movie of the decade, Interstellar. Best TV show of the decade, Haunting of Hill House. Done.
10 Cloverfield Lane, Haunting of Hill House.
10 Cloverfield Lane is your best movie of the decade, really?
Think about it. It's got John Goodman. It's got
No, no,
drama.
no, no.
It's got suspense, and
I
it's got
liked it.
monsters. Giant monsters and aliens. It's got everything I want, and it was well done.
I like. Okay. I did like Haunting of Hill House.
I'm real indecisive. I'm not going to have an answer for you.
Just
At least not
spitball.
today.
You don't have to commit to it. Just what
No,
what comes to
I
mind.
just nothing.
No, you do have to commit to it. This is going on film, on celluloid. It'll.
Also, best of the decade.
We're filming?
Best of the decade, Your Name.
Oh, damn.
Your Name was
I take it back.
outstanding.
Your
I
name is
watched
better
that
than
with
10
you.
Cloverfield
No, I
Lane.
didn't. I watched Your Next with you.
Your name is way better.
I should have
than
called this
10
out because
Cloverfield Lane.
I don't know if I can
did
answer
watch
this.
Your Next. We
I don't know
watched
if I
Your
can
Next
answer.
together, and she loved it.
Have you not seen Your Name?
No. Oh, is that's the anime?
You have.
I've seen it several times on Netflix, but I have not
So-
actually
is it
watched
on Netflix?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, it was.
No, it's not.
It was.
It was not. 110% was not.
I think I would have to say
Because
best movie of the
You
decade
pirated it.
for me, California Typewriter.
Is that the Tom Hanks documentary about his butthole?
No, it's not a Tom Hanks documentary.
Butthole?
I think it's amazing.
Dude, I don't even know.
Best TV show of the decade.
River Monsters season 4, Texas
How did
Poon
you not
Sniper.
go Haunting a Hill House? Like,
Really?
Haunting a Hill House was so good.
And
It was so
earned
good,
its
but there were
ending.
there
I
were
have
parts
so
where
many
it
mixed
bored me.
feelings
at
about
parts.
it.
You got Breaking Bad.
It earned its
Mm-hmm.
ending, though.
You also have Ozark, Westworld.
Westworld's good.
Those are great. See, they were
Game
all
of
great.
Thrones was this decade.
I know, and
whole
even though it
decade?
didn't end well, it's going to go down in history as one of the greatest.
2010.
I like the Mandalorian. Actually, I think
Mandalorian.
maybe I'm still hot on it because I'm intoxicated with Baby Yoda. You know,
Holy
but
shit. Detective Pikachu. Oh, my God.
I really liked
So many good
Ready
things.
Player One.
That's
Ready
okay.
Player
I
One was
really
good.
liked it.
That's a big video game nerd jerk off movie.
yeah,
Definitely
I saw
your
it and I
name.
liked it.
I love being nerds.
Yeah.
You love being nerds? How many of you are there?
3.
Which one of you are we interviewing right now?
Fuck, Shape of Water was really good too. Fuck.
Yeah, because everybody wants to watch a
Best
merman
book of the
fuck a lady.
decade?
What did she do? The
I don't know. She
was weird.
shoved her boob in his gill or something. I'm not sure.
Ah, that's tough. Best book of the decade.
Just in case you have any good recommendations.
I don't know.
There's a lot of not seriousness going on that side of the room. And
A lot not reading over there.
That's all merman does autoerotic
They're
asphyxiation.
like, Casey goes, "Hey, what's a good book of the decade?" They went, "Ah, chick banged a chick banged a fish or tit." Ah. As soon as reading came out,
I didn't even hear the question. We were talking
Yeah.
about Shape of Water.
we know you were. Anyway,
was it? Never mind.
Best book of the decade? Is that what we're talking about?
nah, we're talking about a chick banging a fish.
Can I have a worst of the decade?
I like how he's so
Aquaman.
bitter that we were just talking about the
Oh,
movie you
dude,
mentioned.
Yeah.
Aquaman was fucking terrible.
It was. I didn't even finish it.
Aquaman
It
was the worst
so
movie of the
bad.
decade?
Dude,
You guys are out of your fucking minds.
Wait, when
to
did
be.
Watchmen come out?
2009.
Also, Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad was also god awful. The
Okay.
soundtrack is great.
Hey, now, Suicide Squad
Nope.
is
Don't.
I like
far
the soundtrack.
worse than Aquaman. I
They
don't
both
wanna-
they both were terrible. DC just sucks right now.
It absolutely does not. DC gave you the Joker. It gave you Man of Steel. It gave you
It
the
gave
Dark
me
Knight.
what 3 out of probably 27.
They've
Whereas
made-
Marvel
they've made-
gave me
they've
what
made-
almost 28 out of 28.
DC
almost.
has made
Well,
9 movies,
I would
and
also-
all 12 of them have been fantastic on
I
one
would also
level or
like to
another.
point out that Marvel made 20 of the same movie with different people in it.
and
that.
somehow it still
but it was
better
still
than,
good.
Still better than
it
DC.
was still. They still made it good.
Yeah, because the mass public is a fucking ignorant.
Ignorant.
Well,
you're
yeah,
ignorant.
or
You
they were
said-
just
you
terrible
said that
movies.
you were ignorant AF earlier.
Not liking
I am
not
ignorant
liking
AF.
Aquaman doesn't make you
However,
ignorant.
you
That
are
makes
still
you-
entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
However, DC blows right
How about
now.
this? The worst,
It gave
the
you
worst of the
Joker.
decade is superhero movies.
wait, what did you say?
I said the worst.
No,
the worst
I
of
don't
the
agree
decade
with
is
that.
I wouldn't go there.
I don't agree with
I wouldn't
that.
do it
There
either.
is
don't.
so much more better than
Coming from
superhero
somebody,
movies.
okay, well, coming from somebody who never read comics as a kid because it would have been weird for me as a.
No, I get it. I get
Whatever.
it. It's not
But, like,
everybody's
now I
wheelhouse.
have this
She's not
opportunity to
wrong. It would have been
participate.
back in the day.
For
which
me
is
to
stupid.
participate in this culture now, I love it. I think it's great.
Have you read comic books though?
A couple of them,
Okay.
but not like a whole lot of.
for the-
I
it
really
doesn't
want to. I
matter.
really
Just-
want to read the Darth Maul comics.
The
I have the
stories
first
are
one.
the stories are great, so just dive in. Spencer can tell you.
Yeah.
I can guide you through DC. He'll guide you through Marvel.
I can't guide you through Marvel past 1990.
Good. That means you're sparing her all the bullshit.
I guess. I mean, I was into Marvel back in the 80s and 90s.
I was
like
in
early
Marvel
90s.
when it didn't suck at
The only
donkey
thing,
dick.
the only
And a couple
graphic
DC. I
novel-
read a few DC comics back in the day, and I was into Dark Horse, and I was into like
Yeah.
Image comics, like
Lock and Key from IDW.
Grendel. I was
Only-
huge into Grendel.
The only
because it
graphic
was so.
novel.
And you
Matt
couldn't. Some places wouldn't sell you to it if you were under 18.
The only graphic novel you need to read is the Frank Miller Dark Knight series.
I disagree.
Dark Knight Returns is
I disagree.
so good. It's
Lock
so
and Key
good.
is really good. I think.
Dark Knight Returns.
I'm talking
is
about
so
I'm talking about
good.
DC and Marvel.
Yeah. Either way.
Or Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come is great.
Yeah, read Dark Knight Returns and then read Kingdom Come.
The whole graphic novel is water painted.
Yep.
Man, I will say this. You mentioned books. The one book that probably fucking
Is the one you've been talking about for 3 weeks?
we'll get to that. I'm thinking of ending things. By the way, I'm on my second pass right now, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet.
Anybody that's going to join us whenever we get around to this, I do really seriously recommend you go back and read it again or listen to it again. I was fortunate enough to read it, and then I loaned it to Hunter, And then Casey listened to it on audio, and then I went and got it on audio so I could kind of have a different.
I really like the audio.
I like it a lot too. The only thing that's bad is there are these italicized parts, which are not supposed to be the main narrator, but in the audiobook you still hear it in her voice. And so you have
She changes her voice a little bit, though.
She does. And so if you could pick up on that, after seeing it in the book, I just recognized it. But I was like, I wonder if people are going to understand this.
Who's the narrator?
Just listening to it.
Wait.
How'd that happen?
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
Sorry. I thought I had something.
Did you fart?
No. Oh.
Don't. Anyway, so I'm on my second pass, and it's in when you read it or listen to it the second time, everything changes.
Everything changes?
Everything changes.
Everything
changes.
It's crazy.
Like the universe and
Do you
everything?
want to start
I
the
will
new
say,
decade off right, Spencer?
For the decade, I know this book didn't come out in the decade, but Stephen King's On Writing
it's
is something I
probably
read
my all-time favorite.
in this decade, and it's
my favorite book.
It's wonderful.
It's easily my favorite book of all time, probably.
Probably.
But the book that really shook me up the most in probably the last 10 years was probably The Truth by Nick Cutter.
Sure.
Oh, hell yeah, that was good.
That'll split you wide open. I mean, I was just like, what the fuck?
Stephen King's Outsider, which is about to be made into a TV show in January.
I didn't see it.
It looks
the
so
TV
good.
show hadn't come out yet, but it has Jason Bateman and
What's his name? The guy from
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Reading the book and then watching the TV show, it looks like they're really leaning hard on actually following the book.
That's good.
And I'm excited.
What is this?
The Outsider.
Interesting.
Not to be confused with The Outsiders and Soda Pop.
Stay gold, Pony Boy.
I say that so often.
Can we go home now?
Yes,
No.
we could.
What is wrong with you?
We can wrap.
I'm here to hang out
You have
forever.
one chance to do this to
You need
Casey
to
to
go
start
download
the decade.
PUBG so we can play a real battle royale game.
I have to go to Kohl's. Who wants to come with me?
No.
Are we going to Kohl's?
No,
I'm
thanks.
returning a lot of the stuff my mom got me. Don't tell her I said that.
Because she won't hear it on this
Kohl's?
podcast.
Yeah.
She will hear it
Edit.
on the podcast.
Hey, Mom, thanks for that gift
Edit.
receipt.
She didn't give me a receipt.
Hey, Mom. Hey,
How are
Mom.
you going to return it? You're just going to go in there like a vagabond?
They're usually really nice about it.
Yeah.
Like a vagabond.
They have tags on it and everything.
Hey, Mom. Hey,
That
hey,
could just
Mama.
mean you stole it.
Hey,
you're
Mama Frank,
You're an
man.
actual vagabond.
There's-
You're a dirty.
You can't
God.
say that. You cannot say that.
You're a dirty.
Hey,
God.
Like, you've probably only got two
please edit
fingers.
this out. Please, you cannot say that shit anymore.
You're a dirty.
You can't say that
My
shit.
mom still says
Mama Frying Pan, thanks for the errand.
You
guys can't. You can't say this shit anymore. It's so fucking insensitive. How is the one that doesn't care? No.
Casey's
No.
2020 the year that you gives that homeless person $1?
Fuck no.
Oh, Mom.